Good morning and welcome back to Lost Compass Ranch. Today I'm going to do a product review on the Highlight watering bag for trees. These are low profile, they hold 15 gallons. Right now on this banana you can see that the ring is deflated. That means the water has all seeped out of the bag and gone to the banana plant, which is fabulous. This is slow, it goes over the course of a few hours, and it is 15 gallons, so it does keep going for a while. Okay, on this avocado tree, I do have the hose hooked up to the bag here to show you how this works. So this is just like any inflatable that you take to the beach, the pool, whatever it might be, as it does have a valve. And the valve is pretty easy to use. The plastic is pretty thick, which is nice as it complements the thickness of the bag itself. I've not had any problems with any of these ripping. It's been a couple of weeks, so this has been great. I have had a problem where I pulled on one of these a little too hard, and I did snap the lid off of the valve, but it still works. I put the valve back on. This is pretty simple to set up. The hose does fit perfectly into the valve mouth, and it does fill up pretty easily with the 15 gallons. Speed-wise, it depends on how fast your water comes out of your hydrant or your spigot. It does hold 15 gallons, so that can take a minute, a couple minutes, whatever it might be, depending on your flow. When the bag does fill up, it will get tougher. Right now it's got quite a bit of give with the fact that it's still in process, but once it's full, it's pretty darn plump, and you can push on it with some give, so you can kind of tell as to when it's hit its limits, when it's not. If you don't pay attention, and the hose will come out once the bag is full, and you'll lose a lot of your water and have to start over. I will say that one of these things with this bag is when I do pull that hose out to put to close the valve, I do typically get wet. I'm in Central Florida, not a big deal for me as it dries off pretty quickly. We've been dry for a couple weeks now, so the water evaporates pretty well. But just a heads up, you do get a little wet, so just plan for that. Overall, these bags are working well. I'll show you the spigots here in a minute as well too, and I want to show you one of these bags when it's full. This one you can see is still filling. It gets pretty good size. 15 gallons is pretty decent. These are low profile, so they fit most trees. These are young Brogden avocado trees, or this one is anyways, and I have had great use for this because the normal tree irrigation is too big for this tree. As you can see, it's very little. So you can see it's getting a little more tense as I push. It tells me this bag's getting full, and I'll have to take the hose out shortly. Again, you can walk away, but I wouldn't recommend going too far because if it fills up, the hose will spurt out the valve. I've not had a bag burst on me yet, so that's very good. Okay, so I've moved the hose to another bag and that's filling currently. But I did want to come back and show you how full this bag gets and show you what I mean when I push on it and it's a little. It feels like any inner tube. It's got a little give, but it is pushing back, so I do definitely know it's full. As I mentioned, the cap goes on easily for these. As I did get a little wet, you can see there's water out here, so splash back. But this cap is pretty secure on this valve, and it holds the 15 gallons in nicely. I've got one more to fill up after the current one, and I'll be done. This takes me all of a few minutes. It's nice. I don't have to stand out here and water these plants a couple times a day. And right now, with Central Florida being dry and our sandy soil, we're not holding any water. These young plants definitely need a good stream of water coming through on a regular basis. So what these do is helps me provide water and irrigate these trees throughout the day over a course of a couple hours. I do fill these up once a day, and it does help these plants. The water does not stay in the ground here. This is sandy soil, as you can see pretty easily. We live in sand here in Central Florida. If you have a soil type that does hold water, clay, good mountain soil, whatever it might be, you might not have to fill these up as often. But in my situation, these young trees, I really want to make sure they get the irrigation. I'm not too worried about root rot with these. You would want to be concerned if your soil does hold water for root rot. Mine doesn't. It goes right through. I don't have any problem. But these are doing good. It disperses the 15 gallons over the course of a couple hours. I typically don't fill these up if we have a good bit of rain coming. However, you know, sometimes the weather people aren't quite right. So we were supposed to get rain a couple days ago, solidly. Didn't get a drop of it, so we're still quite bone dry. So these have been a great tool for my little farm. And this one is another Brogden avocado. This bag is filling up. I'm excited that we're going to have avocados this year. I got these from a nursery right down the road. They're grafted. You can see that this one has, I do believe, 4 avocados coming, which is great for such a small plant being grafted and all. So we're doing good. I've got banana plants, avocado, and a couple citrus that I have these bags on. These are great. They're low profile. Helps with the irrigation. One of my trees is slightly taller, so it has a different style of irrigation bag, and I'll talk about that one at some point, probably when it gets on more of these plants. And that one itself holds 20 gallons compared to this one holding 15 gallons. But the nice thing on this, it's low profile. I don't have to worry about it damaging the trees in the meantime. So these are working out great. This one's about full, so I'm going to go ahead, check it. Yep, we're about full, so I'm going to go ahead and stop the video and pull the hose and move on. Okay, as my last bag is filling up on my Myro lemon tree, I did want to show you one of these bags that's not filled up. That way you can understand how it works. So the bag itself is a good rubber. This one's a bit faded from being in the sun. If you know Florida sun, you know it fades things very quick. It's dense, thick rubber, and it holds very nicely. The valves are of good quality. As I said, I've not had a problem with these. It does hold the nozzle of the hose very well. I did make the mistake of tugging a little too hard on one of these, and I did snap it off. However, it is being used still and not a problem with it going back on. I just have to make sure I keep tabs of where the cap is when I take it off. This bag is currently upside down, so I can show you that these 2 little valves, this is one of them, is the slow release for the irrigation. These valves are little. You can see it's next to my thumb. It's about the size of my thumb now, a little larger. It does irrigate slowly. That has a area that's much tinier in there. It does have a liner that's inside the spigot that's even smaller to slow the irrigation even more. And here is the second one. So that's 2 of these. One thing I did find is that these will become clogged occasionally. Based off of my well water, we do have minerals in the well water, and I do have sand. So every couple of days or a week or so, I do need to clean out at least one of these bag valves, which I do with a thumbtack. Very, very simple. You put a thumbtack in, I pull the little insert out, and it cleans it pretty nicely. I clean both sides with a thumbtack, and then the thumbtack is easy to put it back in and just twist the thumbtack out. So again, this is the bag. This is a highlight bag. I did order these from Amazon. I'll post the link below so you can take a look. They're pretty reasonable in cost. They come in a 2-pack. I like them. It saves me a lot of time and having to water my trees that I have that have been planted for a couple weeks now. All my trees are doing well. The bags are doing their job, and it saves me a lot of time and a lot of stress, a lot of headache with having to come out and water these, as I don't have an irrigation system for the garden yet. That's on the to-do list, like most things. I am going to run PVC underground and get an irrigation with sprinkler system going at some point. However, in the meantime, I wanted to get these trees growing. We are back several hours later in the afternoon. It's around 5 p.m., so it's probably been about 7 hours since these bags were filled. And we can see here that the bag on the Myro lemon is quite flat, so that one's pretty much gotten rid of all of its water. So that tree has received 15 gallons of water today. And we can see that these other bags are still irrigating. They're quite a bit lower. This one's still probably about halfway full. It's still irrigating slowly for this tree, and then the smaller of the avocado trees over that direction is a little less as well. So that's still irrigating. They'll have a little longer, as well as the bananas. The bananas are a little flatter than the avocados, but they are not as flat as the Myro lemon one is. Overall, I'm quite happy with these bags. They are providing irrigation to the trees over the course of several hours at different rates, but all trees are still receiving 15 gallons, so I'm quite happy with that, and they all are growing quite well. So I'm hoping to have a good produce from them in the next year or so, depending on their age and how fast they grow. So again, thank you for watching this product review of these irrigation bags. I will have the link in the section below, so you can find them on Amazon as I did. They are sold in 2-packs, so I did buy multiple packs. Please subscribe to my channel if you have not already. Please like this video and comment below if you have any questions, concerns, or if you'd like to see any other products. Again, thank you for joining me at Lost Compass Ranch. This has been another product review.